Hello everyone, welcome to this video. With this video, you will be able to clearly understand the concept of variables in C++. So let us start with the topic. So first of all, what is variable? So variable is the basic unit of storage in a program. And when any program requires the use of numeric values, then variables are used. So what is the meaning of this statement? See here, for example, we are considering the program for printing the message hello world. So for printing that message, we will write in the main function just only one statement, that is cout, and then in double quotation hello world semicolon. So while printing hello world, there is no use of numeric values, or we are not taking any input from user as the value. In that program, the use of variable is not mandatory. But whenever any program requires the numeric values, for example, it may use integer values, fraction values, or anything, in that case variables must be used in C++ program. So one of the example in which variables are used is calculating the percentage of any student. For example, there is one program that is finding the percentage obtained by students of a class. So percentage are calculated with the help of marks the student is scoring in the subject. So for storing those marks, something will be required in programming, and the unit that is used for storing the variables and the thing that is used for storing the values in C++ program is the variable. So variable is the basic unit of storage in a program. Now next thing is, variable is any name that is given to any memory location. So why? Because actually we are using the values in C++ program, that means we are operating on the memory locations inside the memory, because whenever any variable is to be used in a program, the memory should be allocated to that variable. So variable is the name given to that memory location. So whenever some value is added or deleted in the variable, so similar changes will appear at the memory location to which it is naming. Hence it is said that the operation performed on the variable, whether it is addition, subtraction, any operation, mathematical operation, it will affect the memory location to which it is naming. Next thing, so this is the diagram which shows how variables are used for naming the memory location. So see here, whenever we are using any variables in program, so they are stored in memory locations. So memory locations are the contiguous memory locations. That means the addresses are given to each memory location. Each location is denoted by the address. For example, this column will indicate the address that is given to any memory location. So here second column will indicate the address of that location and the value stored at that address. Here for example, this is denoted by third column. So we can say that 15 is the value that is stored at the location 1000. Then 20 is the value that is stored at the location 1002. And similarly, more three values are there, that is 30, then x, and then y. Let us consider here 15, 30 and 20. These are the integer values, and x and y are the characters. Characters may include alphabets, capital alphabets, small alphabets, then special characters and digits also. So for storing any variable, memory is required. So how much amount of memory is required? It may vary depending upon the type of data that is stored. So in C++, for storing any integer value as like 15, 20 and 30, the memory required is of 2 bytes. The memory required is of 2 bytes. For storing any kind of character, for example here x and y, the memory required is of 1 byte. And inside the memory, the variables are stored at locations. So here these are the addresses at which these values are stored. So we have seen that 15 is an integer, and integer will require 2 bytes for storing the data. So in memory, at each location 1 byte is saved. For example, at 1000 location 1 byte will be saved, at 1001, next byte will be saved. At 1002, third byte will be saved. So it is the set of contiguous bytes. So for integer 2 bytes are required, so 2 contiguous locations, that is 1000 and 1001, will be allocated to 15. Similarly 20 is also an integer, so for storing integer value, 2 contiguous locations, that is 1002 and 1003, will be required for storing 20. Now for storing characters, 1 byte is required only. So here 1006 will be allocated to variable x. So this is the structure how the variables are stored in memory. Now this is the actual memory, where these are the addresses and these are the values at those addresses. So we can say like this: 15 is stored at the memory location 1000 and 1001 because it requires 2 bytes. Similarly, x is the value, it is the character form which is stored at the memory location 1006. Okay. So these are the values, those are saved. But while using in a program, these values must be stored in some entity. So for storing these values, the entity that is used are nothing but the variables. So we will use the variable names for accessing these values. Okay, so for example, here var1 is the name given to memory location, var3 for example is the name given to memory location 1002, like this. So names of variables are the variable that user is using while accessing this value. So actually variable 1 and 2, variable 1 and 2, so actually variable 1 is naming the location 1000, variable 2 is naming the location 1001, but at these two locations single value is stored, that is 15. So we can say that this name can be indicated by a single name, for example var 0. So variable 0 is naming the memory location 1000, and at memory location 1000 the value 15 is stored. So here variable is used for naming any memory location. So while using in a program, if we want to use some values, for example integer, fraction values, character values, those values will be stored actually in the memory, but for actually using those values in our program, we will give some name to that location at which that value is saved. So to this location 1000 and 1001, for example, the name given is var 0. So variable 0 is the variable name. So var 0 will indicate 15, for example variable 1 will indicate the value 20. Likewise variable 7, var 7 is the name given to memory location 1006, and at this location the value stored is x, it is in the character form. Then var 8 is the name given to memory location 1007, and the value stored at this memory location is y. So this is the variable concept. So variable is the name given to any memory location, and it is the basic unit of storage. So what variable stores? It can store the value of any type, integer, float, character, anything. Next thing is, now how we can use variables in C++ programs. So for using variables in C++ program, for example, we have taken the variable names as var1, var2, var3. So before assigning values to them, they must be declared initially. So how to declare variable in the C++ program? The syntax is, first we have to use the data type. This is the keyword that is used for defining the type of data that is to be stored in that variable. Then before that data type, space, and after this the list of variables that you are using separated by comma, and when the list is completed, at the end you can end that statement with the help of semicolon. For example, in our program we want to use 3 variables with names x, y and z, and the value that we are going to store in x, y and z is of type integer. For storing the integer values, the data type that is used is denoted by keyword int. So data type will be int, data type will be int. Then list of variables, variable one name is our x, second variable name is y, and third variable name is z. So our list of variables is completed, so we will end that statement with the semicolon. So this is the syntax for variable declaration. Now what is the use of this variable declaration statement? So what variable declaration statement indicates? First of all, it will indicate the names of variables that we are using in our program. This is the first thing. Second, it will define which type of value that variable is storing. For example, this statement will indicate that in our program we are using three variables with the names x, y and z, and the value that is to be stored in those variables is of type integer. So x will give the name to any memory location, y will give the name to another memory location, and z will give the name to third memory location. And as it is of type integer, so for x, y and z, for all three 2 bytes are required. 2 bytes are required. So this is the first thing that we should use in our program before using any variable, that is variable declaration. Second thing is, now assume that we have declared the variable x, y, z, for example. Now we have to assign some value to those variables. We have to assign some values to those variables. So there are two types. So first type is declaration and initialization. So what is the meaning? So here value is assigned at the time of declaration itself. Whenever we are declaring the value, at the same time we will also assign the value to that variable. So that statement is called as declaration and initialization. So the syntax for this is, first we will use data type, then space, then name of variable, and equal to. So equal to is used for assigning the value, and value we will write to the right of equal to sign and then semicolon. So here in the below example, we are declaring and initializing one variable with the name x, and we are assigning the value 10. So this statement does two things. First, it will declare the variable x of type integer like this, and second thing it is doing is, it is also assigning the value to that variable x. So this statement is called as declaration and initialization. So declaration and initialization means single statement will be used for declaring the variable as well as assigning the value to that variable. So this is the first way of assigning value to variable. Second way of assigning value to variable is with the help of assignment statement. Assignment statement. So it is a simple thing. What we have to do? Simple thing. Variable name equal to value semicolon. So whenever we are using the assignment statement, so before it the variable should be declared, because it is not indicating the type of data here. It is not indicating the type of data, only we are using variable name equal to value. So the example is x equal to 10. X equal to 10. That means x is already declared above. So we are just assigning value to it, x equal to 10. So what will happen? 10 will be assigned to variable x. And after this statement, whenever we will use x in our program, the value 10 will be used in place of name of variable x. So this is the way of using variables in the C++ program. So first thing, whenever we want to use any variable in our program, or we want to work with values in our program, the variable should be declared first. After declaration, value will be assigned either with the help of declaration and initialization way, or with the help of assignment statement. So these are the two ways of assigning values to variables. So there is one more way of assigning value to variable, that is not in the program itself, but we will take the value of variable from the user, because there are many applications in which already defined values are not used. So user will input the value from its side, means whatever user wants the value, that value he will enter, and we will save that value in our variable. So the way of reading the value from the user we will see with the help of example. So let's see one program using the language C++. The aim of program is to take two numbers as input. We will read two numbers from the user as input. As input, this word indicates that we will not assign values to these two numbers in program. Rather, we will take the values of these two numbers from the user as user wishes. Okay, so we will take two numbers as input. So two numbers will be entered by the user, and the output will be, the program will display their sum and average as the output. So two variables will be required. Why? Because here in the aim it is given, perform the sum and average on two numbers. So how many number of variables are required, it is decided based on the aim. So this is the program. So first line is the comment line. It is optional. So comment is program for sum and average of two numbers. So it will describe the work that is performed by that program. Then inclusion of the header file, hash include iostream.h. Then the main function, start of main, and this will indicate the end of main. So here the aim is we want to read two numbers, and the output is also two numbers, sum and average. So we will declare total four variables. Two variables will indicate the input variables, in which we will read the two numbers from user, and two variables will indicate the output variables. So we will indicate two numbers as input variables with the name num1 and num2. So one thing is there, the names given to variables are user defined. User defined means it is not mandatory that num1 and num2 must always be used in a program while using input variables. So anyone can use any name, for example x and y, n1, n2, a, b, like this. So here in our program we have used the numbers, two numbers denoted by two naming variables, that is two variables num1 and num2. So in this num1 and num2 we will store two variables from the user. Then after performing sum and average, sum will be stored in one variable, that is sum, and average will be stored in variable, that is avg. So see here we have used the names num1, num2, sum and average. So instead of these names you can also use x, y, z, a, b, but it is the good practice to use the names of variables corresponding to their operation. Here we are using numbers, that why the related names will be num1, num2. So by seeing these names only you can identify for what these variables are used. For example, in place of num1, num2 I am using x, y. So x and y will not indicate for what we are using these two variables. Similarly, here for storing results we have used the names sum and avg. That means sum will indicate that the result of addition will be stored in sum, and the result of average will be stored in avg. So instead of this, again if we are using a, b, a for storing sum and b for storing average, so it will not indicate by seeing the program only that a is storing sum and b is storing average. That's why we will, or you should always use the names that are related to the task that program is performing. Okay, so declaration of variables first. Now aim is to take the two numbers from user. So here we will give the command to user first, means by seeing that command user will enter two numbers from the keyboard. So command given will be enter two numbers only. So command given will be enter two numbers. So as it is written in double quotation, that means this statement is printed as it is. After this colon, end L is there. End L means the control will go to new line. So the expected output is first statement will be printed enter two numbers, then colon. So here control will go to new line, and here it will wait for getting the numbers from user. So here enter two numbers is written with the help of statement cout. So cout is used for displaying the data on the, or for displaying the data as the output. Similarly, cin used for taking the input from the user or reading the data from the user. So cout is the output statement and cin is the input statement. So whenever cin will appear, it will wait for the data to read from the user. So after this statement enter two numbers, So here enter two numbers will be printed, then colon, control, by using this end L, control will go to new line. But after execution of this statement, the next statement is seen. So whenever program will see seen statement, it will wait there. It will wait there to read the values from the user. So seen syntax is seen, then extraction operator, num1, again extraction operator, num2. So it is indicating that user will enter two values. First value that user has entered will be stored in num1, and second value that user has entered will be stored in num2. So whenever user will enter two values, then and then only control will go to next statement. Okay, so for example, first statement is printed, enter two numbers, colon, control is here, user is entering two values, for example 2 and 2. So 2 will be stored in num1, second 2 will be stored in num2. Then next statement is sum equal to num1 plus num2 semicolon. So it is the arithmetic expression. What will happen, only num1 value and num2 value will be added and the result will be stored in the variable sum. Next, again expression is used, avg equal to addition of these two numbers divided by 2. Here we are storing average in avg, that's why this expression is used. So after execution of this statement, avg equal to num1 plus num2 divided by 2, we will have the result in two variables, first sum in sum variable and average in avg variable. Now these values should be printed as an output on the screen. So again, for printing the result, cout statement will be used. So how we are writing cout statement? Cout in double quotation addition equal to. So it will be printed as it is. Then after this it is written sum. So see here, sum is not in double quotation. So that's why the value stored in sum will be printed here, not the sum will be printed. For example, if it is written like this, double quotation sum, so output will be addition equal to sum, not the value in the sum. So for storing value in the variable sum, there will not be double quotation for sum. So next statement that will be printed equal to addition equal to sum. After this again there is one statement cout. So next statement printed will be average equal to avg value, whatever result we got in avg, that will be printed in front of that value. So this is the program in which we are using variables. We have declared the variables, total 4 variables are declared, and we are not using declaration and initialization statement as well as assignment statement. Instead of these two statements, we are taking the values of variables from user. So we will execute this program. So next program we will see here. So after explaining this program, we will see the execution of both the programs. So now what is the aim of next program? So one more program is here, C++ program to read one value as the temperature in the unit, that is degree Fahrenheit, and print its equivalent in degree. The unit is degree Celsius. One formula is given here. So if you will see this aim, simple task is this: user will enter temperature in degree Fahrenheit, program will convert that into degree Celsius, and result will be printed on the screen. So for conversion of degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, this formula is used. So by seeing this aim, it is seen that two variables will be required. One will be input variable for storing the temperature in Fahrenheit, and one will be output variable for storing the temperature in Celsius. So first will be comment for defining the task performed by that program, then inclusion of header file #include iostream.h, then using namespace std. So using namespace std is optional. It depends upon the type of compiler that you are using. In some compilers are pre-namespaces, for example Turbo C++. So in that case this is not required. So in place of this we have to use iostream.h. So after this statement, directly main will be written. Next statement is int main, start and end of main. So between these two we will write our code that we are performing. So here we will use the values for storing temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit. So that's why variables will be required. So before using those variables directly, they must be declared first. So for storing values, two variables are required. So first is F, input variable, and second is C, that is output variable. So as many variables as you are using, either they can be declared on one line separated by comma then lastly semicolon, or they can also be declared separately using single statement. For example, this can also be written as float C semicolon or float F semicolon. This is also correct. So this is equivalent to this statement. Okay, now temperature in Fahrenheit and Celsius. So after conversion, it is expected that the result may be in the fraction value. That's why instead of taking int as the data type, float is used as the data type. Okay, so now after variable declaration, user will enter the temperature in degree Fahrenheit. So before entering the value, one prompt or one message will be given to user, enter temperature in Fahrenheit. So this statement will be printed. Then there is end L, so control will go to new line. This is the output, that is, this is the expected output. Now on new line, after this there is scene statement. So control will wait here for reading the value from user. So user will enter any value here. So after reading this value, the value will be stored in the variable F. Now this F value will be used in this formula and it will be converted into Celsius. So the result is stored in Celsius. So again, result should be given to user as the temperature in degree Celsius is. So here we are storing, so here we are printing the result that is stored in variable C, temperature in Celsius. So user will get the message, temperature in degree Celsius is the value that is calculated. So this is the expected output. So here we have seen how variables are used for reading the data and also for printing the data. So we will see the demonstration of these two programs with the help of compiler, that is Turbo C++. So see the program. The comment is program for sum and average of two numbers. Then first, this is the first program that in which we are reading two variables from user and we are printing the sum and average of these two numbers. Next statement will be hash include iostream.h, then hash include conio.h. We will see what is the use of this header file conio.h. Then int main, start of main function and end of main function. Then two variables are required, int n1, n2. You can use any names. So here int num1, num2, then sum and average. First message will be displayed to the user, enter two numbers. So it will be displayed on the output screen as it is. Then end L, control will go to new line. Cin num1, num2. User will enter two values. First value will be stored in num1, second value will be stored in num2. Then using these two values, sum will be calculated and after that average will be calculated. And as a result, two statement will be printed, addition equal to and average equal to. So here you can see that we have calculated sum and average, and after this we have printed these two statements. So it is also correct when if you are using addition statement just after this equation, sum equal to num1, num2, we will get the same output. And next statement is the get ch statement, and last is return 0. So here main function is preceded by the keyword int. That means main is returning some value and the type of that value should be integer. So instead of int, if void is written, that means main will not return any value. So this statement return 0 will not required. So for this it is int main, that means main is returning integer value, that's why return 0 is written here. Now the use of get ch statement. So if we are not using get ch statement, so if we are not using get ch statement, whenever output screen is displayed, it will not stay there. So it will wait for any input value. So for single character input value, get ch function is the conio.h function. It is used for single character input value. So output screen will stay there. So we will save this program. So it is saved with the help of name sum and average.cpp. So as the aim of program is to find sum and average, we have used the name related to that, that is sum and average.cpp. Save, compile the program. So there are 0 errors, 0 warnings. That means syntactically and semantically the program is correct. Now we will run the program. So this is the output screen. See here, enter two numbers statement is printed, that is written in the program with cout statement. After that there is the scene statement. So control will wait there for reading the input from the user. So after seeing this statement, enter two numbers, user will enter any two numbers. For example, user is entering 10. So for entering second number, it should be separated by space like this. Okay. For example, you are entering two values 10 and 20 like this, 10 and 20. So program will not consider these two values as two separate values. It will consider it as a single value, that is 1020. Okay. So for entering different values, it must be separated either with the help of space. This is the first way, or directly you can enter each value on new line. So enter two numbers. Two numbers are entered by the user, 10 and 20. So 10 will be stored in num1, that is first variable after cin, and 20 will be stored in num2, that is second variable after cin. Then after pressing enter key, next statements will be executed. So next two statements are sum will be calculated, average will be calculated, and then cout statement will be executed, that is addition equal to and average equal to. So addition equal to 30, that is performed by that program, and average equal to 50. So this is the entire output of that program. So this is the execution of first program, that is sum and average of any program. So now we will see the next program. Conversion of temperature from Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. So as we have seen, two variables are required. First is F, second is C. So F is used for storing the input temperature, that is in the degrees Fahrenheit, and C is the output temperature, that is in the degree Celsius. So again, comment, that is optional, but it is good to write the comment that will define the aim of program. Then header file hash include iostream.h, conio.h because we are using the function getch. Again here int main is used, that's why main should return any integer value, so return 0 is there. Now our main task is this, conversion of temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So two variables must be declared before using them. So float f, c. So we are reading the value in f variable. So only one statement will be given to user first. Enter temperature in Fahrenheit. So on new line, f will be entered by user. Then value stored in f will be used for calculating the temperature in Celsius, and then temperature in Celsius will be printed. So let's see the compilation and running of this program. So compile this. It is successfully compiled. Then we will run. See. So here the earlier output is also showed because we have not cleared the screen. Okay. So also we can clear the screen here. So first we will run this program. So our output of current program is this. First statement of current program is enter temperature in Fahrenheit. For example, user is entering 100 degree Fahrenheit. User wants to convert this value 100 degree Fahrenheit to 100 degree Celsius. 100 degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. So then enter. Only one value is required. That's why enter. Then temperature in degree Celsius is. So result is displayed here. Okay. So now we will use one function here. The function for clearing the screen is clr clear screen. It is function, that's why opening and closing parenthesis semicolon. Now we will save this file, then compile. Again, whenever you are making any changes to any program, that file should be compiled again. Otherwise first program will be run the program. So see here, screen is cleared because we have used the function clr. Now user is entering the value that is to be converted to degree Celsius as 200 degree Fahrenheit. So it will be converted to degree Celsius and output will be displayed. So the result is 93.5 333336. So see, the value displayed is having 6 digits after decimal point. So why here? Because the data type is float, and for float the by default 6 digits are printed. So there are some methods for formatting this. So by default 6 digits are printed after decimal point. Now let's see what happened when we are not declaring the variables. For example, this is the variable declaration statement and we are not declaring. For example, we will make it as a comment. Comment are not executed by compiler, they are not executable statements, so this will not be considered. It will be considered as comment only, just like our program comment. So we will save this file, then we will compile. So 2 errors are here. We have saved the file, 2 errors are there. So let's see what are the errors. Press any key. So see, the first error is undefined symbol capital F. Second error is undefined symbol capital C. Why? Because in our program we are using capital F directly, capital C directly, but they are acting as variables. So in C++, before using any variable, that variable should be declared. That variable must be declared before its use. So here, that's why we are declaring the variables F and C first, then we are using those variables. So we will save this file again compile. So now there are no errors, so same the program will be run again. Enter temperature, so we will enter 150 for example, then result will be displayed. So this is the use of variables in C++. I hope you have understood the concept of variables in C++, for what they are used, how to declare the variables, how to take values from users in this video. Thank you.